Life often finds us dwelling on past regrets and worrying about future uncertainties. The painful memories of past failures can feel overwhelming, leaving us unsure how to cope. As a result, we waste significant portions of our lives on negative thoughts. However, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to this cycle of regret and anxiety. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control every circumstance, we can control how we respond. By cultivating acceptance of what is within our power to change and what is not, we can avoid suffering from clinging to the past or fearing the future. This teaching is encapsulated in the wisdom of Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, who remind us that obsessing over past pains or potential future suffering robs us of the present moment, the only reality we truly possess. Before diving into these profound Stoic lessons, please take a moment to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Your support helps us bring you more valuable content. Now, let's explore how focusing on the present can transform your life. Chapter 1. To avoid regret, embrace the present moment. Seneca famously said, "Life is short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future." Regret acts like a thief, stealing our ability to live fully in the present moment. When we dwell on past mistakes and losses, we prevent ourselves from fully experiencing the richness of the present. Similarly, fearing future mistakes based on past regrets prolongs our suffering without any real purpose. We miss the precious truth in front of us when we're psychologically bound to former events that life has already transcended. An old Buddhist parable illustrates this well. Two monks came upon a deep river, and a young lady worried about how to cross it. The older monk carried her to the other side, but hours later, the younger monk expressed his disturbance over the older monk touching the woman. The older monk replied, "I put the woman down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" Like the younger monk, we often carry regretful burdens long after moving on from the event that caused them. This unnecessary clinging leads to the anxious existence Seneca describes. Our lives feel short not because of how many years we live, but because we spend our time pursuing fruitless paths of obsessive hindsight and catastrophic foresight instead of living in the present. Consider someone constantly weighed down by regret over a past relationship. They dwell on what they could have done differently, haunted by thoughts of what might have been, missing the opportunity to start a new relationship. It's essential to let go of past pains and embrace the present and future. Similarly, a professional who made a terrible mistake early in their career may feel deep regret. But if they remain endlessly absorbed in remorse, they will be blinded to the insight their transgression offered and the opportunity to achieve mastery in their work. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control past events, we command sovereignty over how we meet each new moment. Will we carry excess baggage from before, or will we engage wisely with a fresh mind? In any scenario where regret threatens to consume us, we must pause and reorient ourselves to the present reality. The past can be a teacher, but never a resident. With mindful presence, we accept what has occurred, discern any lessons, and turn our attention to the living truth and what virtuous actions it now makes possible. Does this mean never reflecting on our regrets or learning from our mistakes? Of course not. We should regularly evaluate our lives, celebrate successes, acknowledge failures, and use lessons learned to grow wiser. The Stoics oppose the constant, uncontrolled cycle of guilt, anger, and fear that prevents us from being present and finding peace. Imagine encountering someone in deep regret over a failed business venture. You may acknowledge the gravity of their challenges, but ask, what does obsessively returning to that past instance do to improve your life now? Will stewing on that regret produce new ideas or paths forward? The Stoic walking beside you seeks not to invalidate their friend's emotions, but to highlight that beyond reasonable self-reflection, carrying those burdens neglects the present's powerful opportunity to build anew. It's natural to feel regret when we experience loss or make mistakes. The important thing is to recognize when these feelings start to take over and shift our focus back to the present. Just like a sailor adjusting course in changing weather, we can make intelligent decisions to navigate challenges while embracing the opportunities of the present moment. So when regret arises, pause, breathe, reflect on any lessons, and then return your full attention to engaging with the realities in front of you right here and now. That is where your future pathway toward growth and transcendence of old pains will be found, not in the rearview mirror, but on the rising horizons illuminated by your awake presence. Seneca reminds us that our lives will feel most rich when we stay connected to the past, present, and future. A whole life awaits those who resist reliving what was and drink deeply from the timeless stream of present moment awareness. Chapter 2. Break free from the shackles of past and future suffering. Seneca teaches, two elements must therefore be rooted out once and for all: the fear of future suffering and the recollection of past suffering. Regret wages war on our inner peace from two fronts. The past we cannot change, and the future we cannot control. It ties us to past pain and fills us with fear about future struggles. But Seneca provides a way to break free from these chains by taking away the power we give to remembering and expecting suffering. The recollection of past suffering serves no purpose other than to reopen sealed wounds and drain our present vitality. Whatever triggered that suffering has already passed into history and cannot be changed. We should learn from such events and then return our minds to the present moment, free from the burden of traumas that no longer exist outside our perceptions. A person who regrets the end of a past relationship gains nothing by constantly replaying its demise. The past is in the past, and we should avoid obsessing over it. Instead, focus on healing and directing energy towards new opportunities. Similarly, the fear of future suffering involves creating scenarios of potential horror that may never become reality. When we hold onto past painful memories and project them onto the future, we dread potential intimacy and expect repeat heartbreaks. We build complex narratives of suffering in our minds that only become real when we treat them as unavoidable. A person afraid of experiencing past pain again avoids fully participating in life, thus ensuring the suffering they feared. Their elaborate fantasies of disasters become self-fulfilling prophecies, not because of inherent future realities, but because of their embrace of speculative anguish. When we obsess over memories of pain while panicking about future repetitions, we slip into what the Stoics called the double bind, neither being fully present nor mentally unencumbered to make our best choices. Our anxieties imprison us between past and future torment, while the closest we get to peace is in dismissing both as mirages distracting us from the true here and now. To free ourselves, Seneca suggests a radical approach. We should stop dwelling on past pains and refuse to give importance to potential future pains. develop selective amnesia about anything that might hold us back in regret or cause worry about what could happen. By adopting the attitude of the past doesn't concern me and the future no longer concerns me, we detach ourselves from both, breaking the cycle of suffering. This does not mean denying complex events happened or could happen. The Stoics were not naive about life's challenges. It means acknowledging their impact only when they occur, while safeguarding our present autonomy from being dominated by memories of past pains or excessive fears of the future. Pain has an opportunity to enter and leave our core, but it can only establish residence if we continually renew its lease. Grieving after losing a loved one involves intense initial pain. However, as time passes, lingering obsessively on regretful memories serves no purpose. We must frame that pain in remembrance, but not drag it into the present and insist on reliving it. Continuing to look ahead with worry neglects Seneca's wisdom that the imagined future scenarios may never happen as expected. Even if they do, worrying in advance drains us of energy needed for the present. Whether in regret or excessive worry, these twin tendencies remain our greatest lurking psychological saboteurs. When trapped, we lose access to the wealth and vitality of living open-eyed in the moment. Seneca's antidote is radical presence, resisting the impulse to turn past and future into fonts of rumination and anxiety. We must confine our challenges to their proper moments and embrace the liberty presence brings, insulating us from regret's refrain or panic's dress rehearsals of doomsday. This means not ignoring all past lessons or future contingencies. The Stoics were proactive and prepared people. Relocate considerations to their proper domains without contaminating our present experience. Pain happened. Make peace with it. Obstacles may or may not arrive as imagined. Be prudent, but not pained by fantasizing. Breathe fully into what surrounds you here now. This judicious presence is key to living authentically without regret devouring us from both sides. Chapter 3. You possess only the eternal present. You possess only the eternal present, Marcus Aurelius writes. While Seneca instructs us to root out obsession with former and potential future sufferings, Marcus Aurelius bluntly reminds us that the past and future are metaphysical phantoms haunting our minds. They have no tangible reality or power over us. We empower them by fixating on times that do not exist. The past is an abstraction, a dream dissipated. The future is a fantasy, forever unmade until it emerges as the present moment. Borrowing anguish or anxiety from these ghostly non-realities is akin to suffering over figments of our imagination. Aurelius emphasizes that we should not be disturbed by things that do not actually exist. The past is over, and the future has not yet occurred. Furthermore, we can minimize the impact of our present experiences. This captures the core Stoic teaching. While we cannot control every circumstance, we control how much significance we allow each occurrence to have. We know people who are thrown by minor matters. A stubbed toe launches them into tantrums, or a brief rain shower ruins their day's contentment. Meanwhile, others endure severe challenges with grace. The situations differ, but responses and viewpoints dictate their impacts. One person allows the present to loom as largely as past regrets or future catastrophes. The other minimizes its control over their equilibrium. This is not about denying genuine pain or being indifferent when major changes require human responses. It is about not allowing small things to occupy large spaces in our minds, exaggerating present concerns and disrupting clarity and balance. Following Aurelius's advice to reduce reactivity to the flow of thoughts, feelings, and impulses enhances our ability to face life's blessings and challenges with composure. We are charged with a threefold practice: not lending legitimacy to wallowing in the non-reality of the past, not infusing the non-reality of the future with fearful fiction, and meeting the grand truth of the present lightly and purposefully. This vigilance over what lingers in our headspace liberates us to embrace each moment without yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's dreads crowding our experience. With steady practice, we learn to rest lightly on the ocean of this moment without reconstructing former shores or controlling waves yet to arrive. We let past and future be, rooting ourselves in the only territory that is ours to experience with minimal baggage. From that centered presence, we respond to each new now's summons and gifts. Finding gratitude, not grievances, is a wise path. Epictetus advises, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This complements Seneca and Aurelius's teachings on transcending past and future obsessions, guiding us to curtail grievances over what we lack and cultivate gratitude for what we've been given. At its core, regret and anxiety originate from fixating on lack, failures, or disappointments at the expense of appreciating abundant blessings. Dwelling on regrets about missed opportunities puts us in a mindset of scarcity. It's natural to feel sadness over unmet needs, but allowing them to become grievances traps us in a cycle of deprivation. Epictetus describes the sage as avoiding unnecessary distress by changing views on desires and expectations. Instead of feeling sad about what he hasn't obtained, he focuses on being thankful for what he has. This shift changes our lives from lack to gratitude. For example, a friend expressing regret about not having children might dwell on missed experiences, overlooking joys and growth opportunities in their current life. The sage would empathize, but redirect focus to present treasures, autonomous freedom, creative pursuits, deepened bonds, and mentoring roles. The sage acknowledges grief, but refuses to let it overshadow fulfilling aspects of the present. Maintaining this perspective means keeping vitality despite ups and downs. Let's raise awareness to see the bigger picture and avoid the cycle of always wanting more, regretting wastefully, and believing real life is out of reach. The present moment contains everything required to grow if we change our perspective. The sage remembers their enoughness, celebrating the good within the whole rather than focusing on deficiencies. Sadness over unrealized dreams arises naturally, observed with spacious awareness before redirecting focus to present abundance. By holding gratitude as our anchor, past pains release their grip, allowing wholehearted savoring of present richness. We move through life not fixated on deficits, but relishing connections, lessons, opportunities, and simple joys. This cycle of appreciation preserves motivation, resilience, and a sense of life's abundance, making regrets appear as passing clouds. Chapter 4. The Eternal Gift of the Present. Give yourself a gift, the present moment, Marcus Aurelius advises. He reminds us that the present moment is a profound and renewable gift we can fully embrace at any time. No matter how stuck we feel in past regrets or future anxieties, the present moment is always a fresh start, allowing us to refocus on reality rather than imagined scenarios. Giving yourself the present moment means reclaiming your agency over where you place your attention. It involves divesting from compulsive thoughts about what was or may be and realigning with the richness of what is here and now. The present always remains available, waiting to embrace us the moment we turn our gaze and hearts toward it. Accessing this gift requires no grand effort, only a subtle pivot of perception, reorienting to the truth of this eternal moment. When trapped in past pain and future fears, we resemble soldiers traumatized by conflict, fearing peace. Regret and anxiety act as psychological trip mines, undermining our return to presence. Continuing to defend against past or future challenges prevents us from accessing our strength and nourishment in the present moment. This present moment is our unbreakable sanctuary, always available. When regret or anxiety grips us, we must courageously repatriate ourselves to this present peace by reperceiving the moment with untarnished eyes. The present is always here, waiting to embrace us when we end our self-inflicted exiles from it. Like a wizened elder emerging from stillness, the present moment contains keys to unlocking our most fearless selves. It remains an endless reserve of vibrancy, clarity, and joy, regardless of our habituated panics and self-accusations. To give yourself this gift, stop creating imaginary selves and realms through relentless thought. Embrace the present moment, surrendering past and future burdens. Embracing the present moment as the most valuable gift breaks barriers, reviving your true essence unaffected by past baggage or future worries. It requires simple, repeated adjustments to the truth that the present moment always supports you. Approached with ease, the present regenerates us naturally, not through positivity monologues or avoidance of darker frequencies, but by meeting it without departing for past-future fixations. In light embrace of the present, we see clearly how previous miseries, with excessive regret or anxiety, were self-binding choices, forgoing our greatest birthright, conscious participation in unfolding life. Whereas self-mortification stemmed from falling backward or forward across mere echoes, this moment is the abiding truth we can meet with poise and celebration. Our highest selves derive meaning, purpose, and joy from the present. So give yourself this gift with generosity, repeatedly in every new instant. Put down ghostly baggage, compelling disownment of the present for past or future grasping. Lay down arms, let battle smoke clear, and surrender into the homecoming of each undefended now. Held loosely, this eternal moment reveals itself as the only real present, everything needed to appreciate it fully. By adopting Stoic practices, we can transform our approach to life, letting go of past regrets and future anxieties to embrace the profound gift of the present. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share to stay connected with more insightful content.